missing
I
one
missed one race too. I went from 3rd to 8th.
Yeah, it's
Third to eighth.
great
Wow.
cray, man.
Dude, I'm gonna miss in Canadian Tire. Apparently, fuck it. COVID, something. No, I'm gonna be out of town, but
what up, JD? What up, Billy?
What's up, guys? What's up? Definitely want to speak on some stuff real quick before we start the show. Tuesday night. Well, let's just start from the beginning. So last year, Bubba and I both ran in what it was called the B Series, and which is now the Pro Series. And him and I were talking about it, and we absolutely loved the racing that was going on over in the C League, and which is now the Pro-Am Series. And it was exciting. It didn't take away our Sunday nights. We were like, damn, let's go there. I mean, I'm coaching. Bubba's doing
It was
school,
clean.
So right. It was clean. And it was fun.
Fast. Them guys were trading all night. Like, there was respect.
Yeah. And
notice how everything that we said included the word was
is the big thing right there. And it's really crazy because there's a lot of guys that try to make this work every week. They get on, they practice, they bust their ass. And then there's some guys that just don't. And they don't practice with the group. And they wind up getting out there on race day and not really knowing what the hell they're doing around people. And notice a lot of aggressive driving. That's one thing. I mean, this is just a quick synopsis of the Pro-Am so far. A lot of aggressive driving, a lot of guys driving over top of their head, thinking they got to do way better every race. I mean, last season, all I heard guys praising was we had this many different drivers that won. And I mean, I know you're not out there to let the other guy win. I get it. But there's no reason to wreck a guy halfway through the race just to get to the front. I mean, honestly, it's the most unsafe place to be. See, your dogs agree with me. It's absolutely nuts. You'll see guys basically just trying to get as close to the front as they can, as fast as they can, and they're causing so many issues through the field that we can't get out of the blocks. To the point where Billy had to make a statement and adjust it down to qualify in. Top 12 gets in, and I mean, I think that'll help.
Man. No, I think that sucks. I understand his reasoning for it, but there's no reason why 18 to 20 guys can't get on and run a fucking race. Like,
that's so true. And I mean,
it just needs to. It's just idiotic. It's carelessness and it's recklessness, and it's a result of a participation trophy society. Right. Like,
that's what it is. Everybody who shows up every week needs to be in the front because in their head that's where they got to be, and it doesn't work out like that. Just my race alone this week, I was content wherever the hell I was because I knew I was in the front of the crap. After everybody got pinned down a lap, dude, I had no stress the rest of that race. I'm like, whatever, no problem. I fell out of the pits right in front of me, and I was like, don't move, I'll push you. I don't care. You got fresh tires, whatever. Like, it's the mentality of just respect and everything else. Now I was racing with Staggering, right? Isn't it Staggering, the guy in ours?
Yeah,
or is it
Stag
Slayer? Stag Slayer. And I had no issues with him. The 37, hats off to him. I shoot. He didn't drive me rough, aggressive, anything tonight, which was Tuesday night, which that was amazing. There was a point in time where, like I said, the field got trapped a lap down, and I felt like the mentality totally changed at that point, to where there was only maybe, and I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna call guys out. I always am. I don't mind it. There was 2 cars that could have honestly stole their lap back, and that one was Snowden and one was Shackett, because they were in the right spot to do it. Shackett pushed the leader up there, and Snowden was up front in front of him. Like, those were the only 2. There was no reason for a guy running in 3rd place, which was me, to get smoked by the 9th place guy, because I'm half a track away from the leader at this point, just riding. There's no reason. Like, if you're showing up every week thinking you have to pull that dick out, measure it, and be like, look what I did. I'm on a leader. Yeah. It's not about that. We're making TV. It's FTR. We got fans. We got followers. We got sponsors.
17 sponsors. Like,
yeah,
that's
you know what I mean?
the most important part. Like,
they don't show up to watch Rex. They show up, like when I showed my the Napa sponsor, when I showed them last year, the end of the season, the championship races, when you guys were mixing it up, spinning around, I mean, and it was like lead swap after lead swap. He's like, that's crazy. Like, he was watching the race as a fan, not as a sponsor, as a fan, and it went away. And it goes up. I mean, it goes up the whole gambit. I mean, it's not just the pro-am. Like, it's all about respect in this league.
Right.
We set a standard for ourselves.
And Rig, to touch base on that, right? We've got sponsors. You and I have carried the sponsor from a couple different leagues, you know, one or two other leagues.
Right.
That the sponsor follows you, you know, obviously for the Napa connection. But to elaborate, and just so that way these guys can kind of understand, right, how important these sponsorships are. We raced a league that was riddled with cautions, much like what we're seeing right now. And obviously, you know, it's the beginning of the season. Everybody's kind of sowing their oats and whatnot and feeling themselves and trying to prove who they are. I get it. But the sponsor pulled the sponsorship halfway through the league and said, if you guys don't fix this, I will not sponsor you next season.
Right.
So understand.
We had to move people out of the league for that reason.
So understand, like, it's not just you being pissed off because you get dumped, or you being pissed off because you brought a great car in. So the thing is, so did everybody else. The days of just jumping on at 7:30 and going, oh, I need a setup and racing and finishing in the top 5 are done and over with. I mean, you got guys, I took the pole, you got Stewie took the pole. We've had a different pole sitter every race so far. So everybody is bringing good cars, right? So
100%.
It's not just you that's got a good car.
Exactly.
So the thing that needs to improve is the racing mentality of everybody around me's got a good car. I've got to wait for a mistake, not the smallest hole, or not, you know what I mean? Like, or expect people to move.
That's exactly what I'm getting into, man. It's like, so a lot of guys, what I've noticed in the season, they call it the sucker hole. What it is, when a guy is riding behind a guy and you got the top 3 just rolling, and you leave, yeah, there might be enough if that guy puts his tire slightly over the line just to get underneath you in the corner and move you up. What the hell is that crap? Do you realize at that point in time what you're doing to the race? I get it. 10 laps to go, run your balls off. You get that hole, get to the front, do your thing. First stage, 12 laps in, motherfucker, why are you pushing me into the wall? Like, figure it out. There's times and places for aggressive driving. It's not, like what they say, it's not ballet. You know what I mean? Like, it's not choreographed out here, guys. You can make those moves. You can do what you got to do to get to where you got to be at the end of the race. You know, a guy makes a mistake, make the pass, get up to the front. There's no reason to move a guy out of a spot 10 laps in because I don't like riding here. I got to get to the front. Usually what happens is you move that guy, then you get up to the front, you wind up hitting something, probably the apron, taking out the 4 guys, and the guy you just moved 8 spots behind you just got wrecked because your dumbass hit the apron. Like, that's what happens. Aggressive driving doesn't work that early in a race. What's up, Bub?
I don't know. That was somebody else.
That was me. I said right. And if I can add in on that a little bit there, Rick, you were saying about the sucker hole with people diving in under there. The way I see it is a lot of these here with these, when you have the high draft like this, everybody's got that rundown in there.
Absolutely.
If you
fresh
can't
tires,
down,
2 tires, or no tires. With the draft, everybody's got it.
If you can't come off of turn 2 and pull under that guy to pass him, then you shouldn't be passing.
Right.
Not diving in under the going into the turn. If you can pull underneath him coming off the turn, then you have a car. You know?
Right. So here, one sec. So like, here's the one point I want to add to that. Snowden, you were up in the booth with me last night at the exact same track we raced a night before.
Yeah. Yep.
There was, I mean, there was very minimal sucker hole passing. guys were riding. We even said it in the stream last night. Why is it like you see the gaps in between the car? No one's beating anybody's ass until it got down to the time when guys were beating each other's ass. Like I said, there's always a time to race somebody to the nth hard, and everybody here is that competitive guy. But if you're in 9th place and you're going to just grab the draft, dive bomb the corner, try to get 3 spots and kill the whole field, what the fuck are you doing?
You know why, Rig? Well, so I got to touch on 2 things, but you know why? I'll touch on that first. Because the camera's on the leaders, and everybody wants their time on the broadcast, and I get that. There's a time and place for it. If you're running through the field, they shuffle through the field on the broadcast, and there's times where the broadcast don't even touch the leader because there's battles going on in the back.
Right.
So you're going to get your broadcast time. Just put good product out there. Don't beat the shit out of people to get to the front to get broadcast time. The second thing that I was going to touch on is we talked about that sucker hole and all this other stuff. If I watched the broadcast, right? I watched Tuesday night's race. Like I said, I didn't race it, but I watched it. You know what the other thing is there's guys that are calling a move 2 and 3 car lengths behind the other car, and then getting pissed off if that line closes. Oh, you're blocking me. No, right. I'm not adjusting my line. I'm not giving you your spot. You're going to earn that spot.
Right.
So if you're 2 and 3 cars behind me, you could say, "Hey, listen, if I come up on you, I'm going." You know what I mean? Like give a courtesy of like, "Yo, I'm behind you." But don't tell me you're below me, or you're looking below me, or you're going to be below me until you're at my back bumper. Right. Because guess what I'm not going to do? You tell me that, I'm running my line. I don't give a fuck if you're there or not. If you're on my back bumper, works. I will adjust my line. But I'm not adjusting my line, entering the corner when you call that you're behind, that you're making a move on me in the backstretch. I'm gonna go under you in the corner. It's not gonna work, pal.
Now, and with saying that, I mean, this stretch, these 2 races we ran Texas, fuck, and that next we have Michigan. 2 tracks where you could dive it into the corner to get the optimal line at that point. And if honestly, I feel like guys are being too nice. I'm putting it out there, ladies and gentlemen. I may be getting penalty points for the rest of the season. Yeah. Because one thing I am not doing anymore is if you call underneath of me and I'm coming down to my line,
right, I'm not bailing.
You are going in the infield, and I hope you only hit the pits, but grab 4 freshies and kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Because I don't care.
And Michigan's another slick track, man. People are going to be loose.
I'm done. I'm done fucking giving up that dive bomb line. Like, you're going to get nuked. Everybody in Pro-Am, listen to what I'm saying. You are going to get nuked. I'm going to crush you into the fucking infield, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Sorry, that was my moment.
But it's true. I mean, it's a fact. Now, don't get me wrong with a caveat to that. That's an SAT word, just so you know.
I like caveat.
No, that's caviar, sir.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the egg thing. I like the eggs.
If you've got the run,
I got the run.
I'll give it to you. But just because you think that you're going to drive it in harder on the turn to get the spot, and then overdrive the corner and run up into me anyway, you're not getting the spot.
Well, that's essentially what it is. If you're in a no-win situation, and you dip in there and you try to really smash your car under, I mean, half a lane, and you're trying to make a car fit because you got to get somewhere, you're gonna see your crew chief in about 10 seconds.
And if you don't, and I get dumped, guess what? You're gonna have a rough race and potentially a rough season.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, I mean, guys have to start driving like that until guys prove that they don't do that.
Right. Boys, you can interject at any point.
Yeah, interject.
Yeah,
let's go.
So, I want to touch on a couple things that you and Bubba said, and I guess I'll start it with, like, let me talk to the flip side of that, because I completely agree with these dive bombs. It was going on last season in the Pro-Am from a couple guys. Listen, the majority of the guys here know what their car can do, know what they can do with their car. I think lately we've all gotten a little more aggressive, at least me. Maybe not everybody, but I think me I've seen it from. I mean, I don't want to call out names, but
listen, real quick.
Right?
Hold on.
I've seen it from Shaq. I've seen it from
That's exactly what Checkers and Records is for. Call everybody out.
We're all getting a little more amped up and making dumb moves because of the stuff that other guys. There's a very few amount of guys, but just I'll start off with what you were saying, Bubba, about so many guys bringing fast cars to the track. Flip side of that is I'm seeing a few guys that are bringing, and again, it started last year, 16. I'm sorry, but I'm calling out the 16 right now. He's been doing it since last year. Guy builds Dave Ace builds really fast cars, runs up at the front in the beginning of the race, but tires wear, and these guys aren't. Yeah, and then you're running into people, and it's like there's one thing between being able to get your car fast. It's a different thing to be able to drive it in a too-wide pack. Yeah, and when the tires wear, and you know, on the flip side of what you were saying, Rig, on the dive bombs, it's like if I'm behind you, like, and I'm on your bumper, like I probably got someone behind me. I can't be lifting too much. And then when the tires start to wear, and yeah, you got a fast car, but when you can't hold the bottom and you slide up, and you know you slide a lane up the track, and then come down and door me when I end up under you, it's like, you know, that happens way too much. And there's times when, you know, like the thing with Stewie, like last week, I was after what you said, Bubba, the other night, like I haven't looked at any video of it since then, but I kind of, you know, I see your point, and I probably could have handled that one better.
Yeah.
Like
I
didn't mean to wreck him. You know, I was just at that point. The second time around, it was like I'm running my line, and I'm gonna lift a little bit for you, but I'm not lifting as much as I did. You want to run that line, okay? So you know, I got him. I took the air off of him and got under him, and you know, in hindsight, I would have done that differently, but at that point, I was frustrated from a lot of other things. But yeah, absolutely. You know, like, but the point being is like, yeah, it goes both ways with this, with the dive bombing and then not being able to hold your line, and it's like, you know, and then later in the race, I'm a lap down, and I'm riding behind Shackett, and I'm doing, and I heard him say, like, he's doing everything he can to not run into the guy in front of him, and I'm back behind him doing everything I can, lifting, to not, you know, I'm running like maybe 65% running behind him, trying to get through traffic, trying to be as patient as possible, and what happens? I get wrecked out of the race from it.
Absolutely.
I got wrecked, no caution comes, because guys aren't, you know, it's just, it's you try to be patient, and then, you know, like what I said in the chat after, you know, I regret sending those messages in the chat after the race. You know, I was pissed off, I was disappointed. It probably came across not the way I intended. I wasn't trying to say, like, listen, I'm fast, I'm gonna fucking, you know, just run through you to get to the front if I think you're slower. What I was trying to say is, like, you know, the being overly patient because everybody's being aggressive, it doesn't work. You know,
no, you're absolutely right.
I had a winning car that night, and you know, Chicagoland, I didn't have a winning car. I didn't like my car, and you know what? I didn't really get caught into any issues because I knew what I had, and you know, there was no reason for me to push it. But when I got a winning car and I'm trying to make up points, it's like, you know, now I got to work through the field. It's the second half of the race. I'm going to be patient. You know, I tried to be extremely patient, and I get wrecked out of it because other guys aren't being patient, and other guys are trying to drive. You know, they think because they got a fast car, like, I got to get this thing to the front, and it's like, well, you know, you've been doing it since last season. How many times have you finished the race where, you know, in relation to how fast your car is? So absolutely. At what point are some of these guys going to realize, you know, maybe I need to see what I'm doing wrong and not focus on I got a fast car, like, you know, like
exactly. But
I don't know.
So I'm gonna co-sign on what you just said.
Yeah,
I'm a dive bombing motherfucker, right? I will dive bomb every line, every chance I get if I've got the run. Now, on the flip side of that, if you drop your car in front of me in the middle of my dive bomb, I'm lifting. I'm not dumping you, I'm lifting. To touch base on the Stewart thing, right? You said you were running second at that point, right?
Yeah.
All right. I can tell you for a fact, because it happened to me last season at Bristol. I took out the leader, the second place car, not fucking knowing the second place car was the second place car. With so many people being a lap down at Texas and at a place like Bristol, the only person you know who is on the track is the leader. Yeah, because it's the only bubble there. right?
Yep.
So I was running my line at Bristol, didn't know the leaders were there, and that's why I interjected on the Stewart Nizzy thing, because it happened to me last season.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, just for the record, you know, I got pretty like, defensive on that, but like I cooled down.
It's
I was
difficult.
still pretty disappointed yesterday with the way the race went.
Absolutely, and I don't blame it, dude. I'm still pissed off about Chicago Roval, where I had a guaranteed top 5 and I finished 16th because I got murdered with 3 laps left. You know what I'm saying?
I got 11th.
Right.
My dick,
so, or 12th. I got 12th. I finished behind Ray, so we both didn't suck. But my point is like, if you're coming up on lap traffic, tell that car what to do in front of you. Yo, I've got to run. I'm going to pass. And if you watch Stewart's stream, because I watched Stewart's stream all the way through, Stewart had 4 tires. He pitted off cycle because he got damaged. And he was like, DeBose, when I get to you, I'm going to go underneath you. I'm quicker. I've got to run. When he did it, the guy he obviously ran up on him. He moved out of the way, and he made the pass.
Yeah.
But Brewster, I'm coming over top of you. And you hear guys, you hear guys do that, but it's almost like, and you'll hear the leader do it, but if there's a gap, you won't hear that 3rd, 4th, 5th place car do that. It's just expected that the people that they're passing know that they're leader cars and they need to move. But the game don't tell you where everybody's at. All it shows is white dots. So if you're coming up on traffic and you know you're on the lead lap and they may not be because you're running 2, 3, 4, 5, so obviously the people in front of you, if it's not the leader, it's lap traffic. Give them a heads up and go, yo, lead lap coming, get out of my way. This is the line I'm going to run.
And
you know what I mean?
I will say this, and I've always, maybe not quote unquote publicly like this, but I've always said to people when it comes up, that's something, I'll be honest, I can work on that. I'm not the best communicator when I'm racing. I'm really not. I don't like to communicate. I'm not one of these guys that, it comes natural for me. I just get out there, I'm good with the setup, and I just, I can talk and shoot the shit. For me to run the race at my best, I really need to be focused and locked in on what I'm doing. And it honestly, just that little bit of communicating does distract me a little bit. So
absolutely.
I don't like to do it. So, yeah, and on the other side of it, it's I don't like telling people what to do with their car.
Right, but one hand's got to watch the other, because if you don't communicate, you can't be pissed off when that car don't move out of your way.
You're right. I can do better at finding that balance.
Yeah. All right.
So Shackett, you got anything on this topic right here, bud, or anything you got to get off your chest, bud?
It's all pretty much said. I'm not. I feel like a lot of the comments that were made were targeted towards me, and I'm not pissed off about it. It is what it is. I'm not. I'm here to have fun, and I'm not here to make friends. I like.
I'm gonna touch on that later too, but.
But at the same time, I bring it up in a joking manner, before the races start, what happened last season and the success that I had. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm better than anybody in this league. Yes, I have the opportunity to move up. I didn't want to move up because I loved the racing that happened. But after the races that just took place, I'm ashamed to be the reigning C Cup champion in this league right now. It's a complete and utter shit show. And
that's a little dramatic. I'll take the championship title if you don't want it. I mean,
Nizzy, Billy said, "Don't worry, he takes his headset off during the race."
I should have had that one, but we'll let that slide. But
one sec, I got
three
of
those races. You
hang on. Yeah.
I spent most of my race 3 laps down because I started dead last after damage, and I get caught up in a wreck, and I immediately get trapped 3 laps down. So it's my race immediately after stage 1 went to hell, and I'm, racing. Did I race a little aggressive? Yes. Was I trying to get my laps back to maybe get in a spot to get back on the lead lap? Of course. But at the same time, I was pissed off because I literally spent my entire race 3 laps down because I got caught up in everybody else's bullshit.
Are you wanting sympathy?
No.
Because I can throw a couple out there that you were involved in.
And I'm not
we'll go back to Charlotte Roval just last week. I won both stages, and what was it? We come down to the third stage, and what come out of Shackett's mouth? We got to get to 24. You know what? You finished second to me. There was a reason why, because you didn't have a fast enough car at that time. I was leading, and I was able to pull away from you.
Well, let's not.
And then what happened? Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. What happened? Let's go get to 24. We go down in turn 1. Your ass is on the outside. You hook them quarter panel and never fucking lifted. So if somebody wants to, check their racing skills, you better start with yourself first.
Just calm down.
Yeah. That's what everybody if we can have, we're gonna have adult conversations.
And
so
pretty
right
sure
now,
that I just said that I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody.
Well, that's one thing I want to touch on. So Bubba and I said it in the beginning. The racing last year was absolutely amazing, but we forgot about it. We're down here with you guys. We don't care about how good you did last year. Just from, and I'm not saying I'm the best best driver in this game by any means. I'm damn sure one of the cleanest though.
Right.
And I mean, last week proved, like, if you watch Tuesday night, you check me. I'm not really running anybody up. I'm just running my line, giving guys room. There's a lap car that fell up in front of me, and I just pushed him around the track. I don't care. Come on, let's go. What is the change that is settling in the heads of all the last contenders? I mean, there was so many guys yelling this week. Sky Pilot. I mean, I see why he lost his mind. He got chopped and thrown into the thing. But that shit never happened.
Well,
one sec. Is it?
And you know who's not here? Killer Speedster to cause it. So that problem's gone. Like, what the fuck happened?
Like,
everybody
bitched. One sec. So like, what is the issue? Like, are you driving over your head? That's what I want to know. Are you guys showing up to the race thinking about the championship?
I think what it is like I said before. I think it's just, first of all, it's the beginning of the season, so it's going to be rocky. Guys are getting used to each other again. But there's these, like I said, with the guys bringing fast cars, and they're not able to drive them, and guys driving too hard in the beginning of the race. I mean, we had a 167 lap race. Listen, I said something about Shackett. Shackett, I'm sorry, man, but I watched you drive up that 37 up the track for no reason at all. You're restarting the inside. I raced with I shoot before. I got a lot of respect for him. He's been nothing but clean. But I'm sorry.
I watched I shoot move Stewie out of the lead.
He moved Snowden out of the way for the lead in the first 15 laps, and I'm sure I did something like that. So what I think is happening,
and that's the thing. Yeah, like make sure that if you're gonna throw blame, you throw blame all around. Like you did it right to Stewie in stage 1 and said I was running it for the win in stage 1, and
and the reason, like, I can only speak for myself, is I was agitated to start that race because we had. We had the issue where we had to restart because we didn't have the slots for the broadcast, and then we're riding at 45 mile an hour pace speed, and I get my front end totaled. And then the next time we restart, the same car doesn't. I'm in behind him on the start of the race, and he doesn't go, and I get my front end totaled. So now I'm agitated, and like what I think is happening is guys just aren't paying attention to what they're doing. They're trying to overdrive. I mean, that doesn't really fit into the example I just made, but I think like we're all from bottom, middle to top getting agitated, and guys like me, I mean, listen, me and Shackett had a rivalry last year, right? I mean, I don't always like the things he does, especially early in that season. I feel like I gained a lot of respect for him later in the season as the season went on, but even then, there were times where he did stuff to me that I certainly don't like and I'll never like it. But, like, we all learned to race. The guys who were racing in the front every week learned how to race each other. Even guys in the middle of the pack learned how to race each other. Right now, I think what's happening is the guys in the middle of the pack, back of the pack, just are driving so hard.
Oh, hold up. I shoot just owned up. I shoot just owned up.
Wait. Before you do that, the problem is what you just said, right? The guys in the front learn to race with each other. The guys in the midfield learn to race with each other, and the guys in the back learn to race with each other. This season, there is no front, middle, or back. I can tell you that right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's And then it's not, you know, oh, we're getting used to racing again. It's not like we took 6 months off and didn't race. What did we take, 3 weeks? So, and guys were
like
on, you know what I mean? Right, like, it's a huge field, which I think we could race 18 and 20 guys. The problem is we need to lose the I belong in the front mentality. This guy belongs in the midfield. Me and Rick, and I'm going to put it out here too. Well, hold on, wait. Oh, yeah, I'm going to put it out here right now, and everybody knows I am one of the most vocal people on my opinion. My opinion does not have to be the opinion that anybody else's, but this is my opinion. We fought that battle in B League last year of you don't belong up front, so you're going to get moved out of the way.
Right.
That's going on in the Pro-Am. A lot of guys right now forgot about the pro part, and they're driving like a bunch of amateurs.
100%.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So when I say guys in the front, last year we had I've only been in 3 races this year. I know we had 4, but last year we had about 12 guys every race, right? When I say guys in the front, I'm talking like the guys who are consistently in like the top 7 or 8. What I'm trying to say is, and I'm trying not to just call out people, which I know you guys want me to, but I'm really trying not to constantly call people out. There's a couple guys who are causing problems throughout the whole race, really. But especially early in the race, when everybody should just be taking it easy, there's a few guys who consistently cause problems, bring out cautions, and it's making the rest of us, who usually are racing very clean and patient, you know, the 8 or 9 of us, I feel like we're all now getting agitated and getting more aggressive because it's like, okay, we're going to keep having cautions. We got to get up to the front. Like, yeah, I'll be honest. There's times when I feel that way. Like, we're going to keep having cautions. I'm going to make the moves I can. And to be honest, man, I feel like, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not saying that, you know, the top 4 or 5, you know, we all should be racing together from last year. What I'm saying is there's a few guys who, they might have fast cars for a couple laps, but they're consistently finishing at the very back of the field since last year, and they're causing problems, and, you know, the race never gets going because we're having wrecks.
I won't deny that.
Well, this will all be solved by the way that Billy laid it out with you have to qualify into the race.
Well, that's another thing. Like, guys are going to get screwed now because Billy had to do something, right? And I don't know what the solution would have been. I think that probably is the best decision. I don't know what I would have done, but we've made it to a point where he's got to do something because it's just a shit show.
100%.
And we're not. But now we got guys. There's guys in the field that aren't qualifying. They're not fast, but they run. You know, they're clean. You know, you got guys like Panda. He's usually good. Smooth Puppy. He's usually good. You know, and then you got guys like the 16 who always brings a fast car, qualifies in the top 10, but then can't control his shit. He's going to make the race now, and other guys who, you know, are respectful are going to get screwed. So, and it's not Billy's fault for making that decision. That's not what I'm saying. It's our fault as a series for putting him in the position to have to make that decision. That now guys that deserve to be there are going to get screwed, and guys who probably
so you know how you beat that.
Let me interject.
You know how you beat that? 5 minutes. You build a faster car.
Exactly. You guys got to there's got to be a practice quota. I'm not saying we got mandatory because I feel like there's guys that can't do it, and there's probably some guys that don't need to practice. But I mean, if you're gonna run this Pro-Am, you got to figure your car out before you get on the track. Yeah. That's got to be like get out a test session, jump in with some guys, run some laps.
That's the biggest thing.
You have to do that. But touching back, I mean, from like 7 minutes ago before Nizzy took his last breath.
That's that New York shit, bro.
Yeah, I know. They just keep going. He's definitely got a Cuban chain on. Anyway, we're.
I don't.
You got that beater on.
Talking about last season, that was one of the main reasons why Bubba and I wanted to come down but not even down, come over because the racing was so good. Plus, it was kind of like fresh start. Like we were figuring our cars out. We'd get up to the front. There was a race where I was on the pole and I got called out for lagging. And then I'm told by the guys in the booth, you weren't lagging. Meanwhile, I dropped to the bottom already. Literally, that type of stuff happens when egos get that high, and I'm hoping this doesn't turn into that.
Which is why, and to touch on that, because Nizzy, I know you and I had some beef on Daytona with lag. That's why. But that's why, that happened to Rig last year. where it was you're lagging, and there was no lag. So until the booth tells me to get the fuck out of the way, I don't care what 30 people in that field tell me. You know what I mean? Because it's, I'm sorry, dude. Like, until the booth tells me, yeah, you're lagging, go, like, move. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, it's that mentality. I don't see it the same way as you,
but I respect, that's your stance. I respect.
Now, if I'm saying, like, and again, it was different chats that day too, because we had 20 some guys or some shit, because it's Daytona where everybody turns the fuck out. I think 16 should be the number. I think 16 should be the cutoff. I think 12 is a little too small. I think it makes for a little bit of boring races. I think 16 because everybody could be in the party. We've got enough people. The bottom 4 aren't going to qualify, aren't going to make the race. If we can't make 16 work, instead of going to 12, the field needs to be cut. It's not qualify in. It's race your fucking race and show that you're capable of racing. And if you're not capable of racing, see ya, you're out of the league.
Exactly.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely. Good evening, gentlemen. Sorry, I jumped in a little bit
Billy,
late.
Wait, hold up. Shady, did you find the key under the doormat?
Yeah, I climbed in through the window.
Damn Dave Ace, I told him to put it back. What the hell?
I only had a few minutes before I got to jump in the broadcast booth, but I was listening while I was doing some stuff, and Bubba was making some very, very excellent points. Very excellent points. And I just wanted to kind of jump in and say, from what I was hearing also, that all of you guys are making excellent points in the sense that in the beginning of the race, it's like guys are trying to show their muscle and try to earn their stripes or whatever, and try to show everybody who's watching how good they are and that they deserve to the front. And I think that kind of plays a part in it too. On my end, I did something stupid to where
you drive in car.
And you got used to it. Which is the worst part.
Don't hate, participate.
No. There's a reason people don't drive in car except for NASCAR racers.
Anyway, now homies gaming. Now I forgot where I was going with my point there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shady, listen though, I get what you're saying, man, and you're one of those guys that, like, I am comfortable racing around Shady. I'll put it out there right now. When you and I were in a corner, if we were next to each other, all I'd have to say is down low, and I knew you weren't going to kill me. Right. You know, at the track where you always get loose and come down and kill people, not you specifically, but that's just the MO of the track.
Okay, you just reminded me. Reminded me.
Go.
Because
go ahead, 10 seconds, Tom.
I freaking put in a lot of time setting my car up, and I was stoked about it. I was fired up about it. I did something stupid. I made it one single adjustment right before the race without testing it or anything, just figuring it would just kind of tweak it a little bit, and it screwed up the whole damn thing coming off of turn 4. So when the race started,
that wheel lock was wrong.
No, it wasn't. It was not the wheel lock.
We've all been there on the wheel lock, though.
And I was realizing that my shit was completely off. That's when I started backing off, and I waited for pit stops to make those adjustments. And instead of kind of like barging up there and still trying to fuck it, and I still slid through the grass, even trying to stay out of people's way. That's so, I think in my case, I think I made a couple mistakes getting into people because I did something I should not have done. And like Billy has always made an excellent point, and I'll kind of leave it at this guy before jumping into the Phantom booth, is that
stop dropping.
If you have a fast car, you're going to get to the front. At 160 laps, if you have a fast car, you're going to get to the front. You don't have to get there in lap 5.
That's true. No, that's pretty much what we're trying to get there. I mean, just to put it out there, guys, we watched the race last night. I've watched this guy for 2.5 seasons, 3 seasons. How long have I been broadcasting? I don't know at this point. 2 seasons, 3 seasons. So I practice a lot with Billy and guys, like, just to figure out how to race. Like, my first time racing, and I think it was the trucks, I had Warren, I had Billy boxing me in for like 30 laps. Just to learn how to race around guys, not break a line, stuff like that. And it's like, I watch Billy. If you guys could do anything, just go back and watch some of Billy's races. He doesn't. He'll go from last to first and not touch another damn car. You know why? Because he has confidence in his car and he makes the right moves. He doesn't move anybody. He just passes people. Like, not to tote his wiener right now, but I'm kind of toting it pretty hard. But just go back and watch Billy's stuff. There's a lot of guys like that. I mean, hell, Shady, Elvin. Elvin doesn't beat on people. He just goes through the field. You know what I mean? Like, guys like that. Like, there's guys in this game that you can pick up different habits from that you need to be successful in this game. And it seems like right now in the Pro-Am, guys are just firing off half-cocked. Like, you're going to see a lot of guys a lap down, keep going on, because they're just going to run each other over until something is getting fixed. And that brings us to this last point right here.
Unless Billy's on a controller, then it's...
Yeah, it's a little awkward. Listen, Billy's on a controller, guys, right now. It's like, you can't hold that up. How do we... I'm not worried about the formatting of the race. I'm not worried about that. How do we, as the drivers, putting on the product that they get to call, having the sponsors watch, how do we fix it?
Check your egos before you fucking start the race.
What did you say, Shady?
I said take ownership.
Right. Nizzy, you got anything on that?
Nope. Yes. No.
Nizzy fell asleep.
And
I was kind of distracted.
How do we fix the league as drivers?
And I think also what the point that you made, Rig, as far as guys.
That's not what he wants to know.
I was okay with a little pat. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You tell me I'm right.
Practice. If you ain't practicing, practice. I could do better with practicing with. I haven't been practicing with. I've been practicing, with guys, but not with everybody. I could try to do better with that myself. I think guys aren't practicing at all with others. I think they're practicing by themselves, and like I alluded to earlier, getting in with a fast car, but not being able to drive it around.
I think that's the biggest problem. A lot of guys are building test session cars and not putting them in traffic.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but yeah, I think what this all stems from is there being a few guys who just show up for race night with a fast car and overdrive it, and then it's kind of a ripple effect. I hate to say it, and maybe I'm wrong. I could be completely wrong, but just from my perspective,
right. What about you, Snowden? What's your thoughts, man? How can we fix it as a drivers, buddy?
Well, one, just to elaborate on what you guys are talking about with practice and even what Billy said, there's not one person in the Pro-Am series that should not be practicing and putting some laps in. There's not 100%. One driver in there that's that good that they should be showing up on race night, throwing setups in and jumping in a race.
If they were that good, they'd be elite.
Right. Well, no, because even the elite guys are practicing all week. So all three series should be practicing daily.
Yeah, but you know what I meant. Go ahead, son. I didn't mean to jump.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. You can't just come in here and not run any laps and jump out there and think you got a winning car without even putting 20-30 laps in on the race to even know what your marks are and stuff like that as far as driving in and how your car is going to handle.
Yeah.
And can I add one other thing?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I agree completely. I think everybody should be practicing. But I'll also say, like, it's okay if, like, people got lives, right?
Yeah.
If you can't put the time in, okay. If you want to race with us, okay. But know what you can do and what you can't do with your car. Like, if you're a lap down and the tires are wearing and you can't handle it, if you feel that the tires are starting to wear and the car's getting a little loose, don't wait until you wreck somebody. Pit and get new tires and go 2 laps down.
Absolutely.
Like, have the respect to not ruin other people's races because you haven't put the time in to, at that point, it's been, like I said, it's been boiling over since last season. Just a couple guys just don't seem to care that they're messing up people's race, and it's, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. We know you didn't mean to do it, but there's a bunch of us out here who are putting effort in, and we know what we're capable of, the majority of us. And then there's a few of you who are coming, and you seem to not understand yet that you're not capable of driving the car past a certain point. If you gotta drive at 50% and stay away from people, then do that, or just don't show up.
All right, before that happens, real quick, Big, before you do what you do,
I want to make Shaq it real quick.
Oh, go ahead, Shaq. My bad. I thought you were going over to Billy real quick.
No. I'm gonna ask Shaq what he thinks. What can he?
No, I mean, yeah, I agree. They're practicing, but you know, I'm one of the ones that doesn't get a chance to practice. You know, I have to work 2 jobs to make a living, you know, in order to survive with what I have. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not on at all during the week because I work from 3 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the afternoon at my full-time job, and then I work 5 hours at a part-time job, and I don't get home till 8 o'clock at night. So the last thing I'm doing is getting on here practicing. The first thing I want to do when I walk in my house is relax, eat dinner, and go to bed.
Check it.
Well, you're clean. You're clean for 98% of the time. You're clean.
When you're not clean, it's by your decision making. It's not because you can't control the car.
But the point that I'm getting at is, I want people to understand. Like, take me as an example. Yes, like Nizzy said, my aggressive driving spins from what's out and happening in the moment. But take it from somebody who doesn't have. I would love nothing more than to practice with these guys 6 times a week, hours on the day. I just physically cannot do that with what I have to do to make a living to support, and all this other thing.
I'm the same. I'm in the same boat, bro.
You're doing pretty good
Listen,
too. We're not coming at you.
I might get 4 hours a week, 5 hours a week.
Right, and I want people to use me as an example. Is I don't get to practice, but I know what my car is going to do. And, when people are like, guys are throwing setups in, hours before the race, I'm not going to lie to you. Every single race this season, with the exception of Daytona, I have messaged Billy an hour before the race, hey, what do you have for me? Billy gives me a setup, I put it in the car. But I'm also on practicing.
You do know what your car does
before the race.
So
that I know what the car does.
Well,
All right,
at times, I mean, I'm not your biggest fan, Shaq, but I mean, you can't take this shit personal. I'm not talking about you when I say guys are bringing fast cars and wrecking the whole field.
I'm not saying stuff is coming personal. My whole thing is I'm the type of person where I'm a lot like Nizzy. I need to be 100% focused on what's happening in front of me. I need to focus on where I'm hitting my line, what the car needs to do, where I need to be, and it's getting to the point where like all the commotion that's going on during the race, it's
yelling.
Like, can we calm down? Like,
well, that starts just off the lobby building. Like it's literally amped at the lobby building, which is ridiculous.
This is a video game. This is not real life. Like, we are not racing in real NASCAR for a fucking trophy.
Well, there's a trophy.
You get a trophy.
Do I look
you
at
have
the trophy?
You have a trophy, right? Exactly.
Yes, and I want to take back what I said. I don't want people to think that I'm ungrateful. I'm 100% grateful that I'm here. Like, I'm glad that I joined the league. I'm proud of the trophy that sits on the wall. I feel like I earned it. Guys may disagree. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you're not going to... My boss at my job tells me all the time, at the end of the day, no matter how hard you try to impress people, you're always going to have naysayers who are never going to be in your court.
Haters are motivators, bub.
Right.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, these people want to sit here and have a... Because I'm the type of person where... If you want to argue with me in a lobby full of other people, you're arguing with yourself. I'm not responding. And that's what pisses a lot of people off, is they think that I'm not taking ownership. I'm the type of person where if you want to talk, let's go to a private party after the race with just you and we will talk it out. I don't want to be in a lobby with 20 other guys talking about an incident that happened in the race where they can put their 2 cents in that they may not even know what happened because they're not there. So people can get pissed off, and I'm not going to argue with you during a race. I'm just not the type of person.
You argue.
There are times.
I'm gonna argue the fact that you don't argue.
You definitely argue.
Last race, I got heated, but last season, there were a lot of times that Snowden or Nizzy or whoever got pissed off at me. And Snowden and I, I don't know when during the season, but at one point I explained to him one-on-one, like, hey, if you want to talk to me, let's talk. We're adults, for fucking sake. We either have wives or children or whatever.
Fuck's sake.
Like,
fuck's sake.
We're adults. Screaming at each other through a microphone is not going to accomplish anything.
Well, real quick before you go any further, you know what the biggest thing is, and it's funny. Everybody wants to scream and shit like that. You know what the biggest thing is a lot of these motherfuckers forgot or have never been punched in the fucking face.
I knew you were going to say that.
100%.
Because
no one
guess
picked
what?
up a chiclet off the ground.
Guess what? I fucking make a lot of money to get punched in the fucking face. So when I tell you the shit that I put in that message earlier this week, I meant that, right? I've got no problem calling somebody out and answering for that. But anyway, real quick. You made a comment earlier. Yeah.
And we have the means.
Right.
We'll buy a plane ticket. Not a big deal.
You made a comment earlier, and I'm going to call bullshit on that. You are here to make friends because you definitely have a good time when the racing is good. But to touch base on, I'm not here to make friends. We've got people in this league that take that shit to heart. One of the biggest things with this league is, dude, like, if you say you're not here for friends or whatever, like, you and Billy built a friendship. I think you and I have built a friendship. You and Rig have built a friendship. There's guys that you've built friendships with. So,
100%.
But we've got some guys in here, and I'll put it right out there. I don't give a fuck because you know what? You win a race and you don't go into the fucking booth because you want to be in your fucking feels and have all your fucking emotions, all out of whack and be a fucking miserable fuck, Davey Allison. Guess what, dude? Like, get the fuck out of the league. This league ain't for you. That fucking trophy, I'll mail you a fucking trophy that says the biggest fucking crybaby bitch that there is. I don't give a fuck.
Facts.
Because guess what? We've got sponsors that pay money for you to be able to fucking get a championship trophy if you win that trophy. So you're spitting in the face of the fucking sponsors by not getting in the booth, and then when you do get in the booth, you're the most miserable prick in the fucking... My race sucked, my car sucked, my life sucked, my wife sucks. My wife don't suck. My fucking kids suck.
She don't suck.
Get the fuck out of the league, because not only are you doing fucking... Yeah, you're racing and you're in the front, but you're making shitty interviews for the fucking sponsors that are putting money into this league and putting that fucking trophy and fucking swag on your fucking back and on your shelf. So if you don't like it, get the fuck out, because this ain't the league for you. So if you're not here to make friends and have a good time, get the fuck out.
Another thing I want to touch on, too, before you go to Billy, because I know Billy's waiting to say something.
And rant.
And,
rant over.
The other thing, too, is, a lot of these guys, like Lizzie was saying, and a lot of you have said, they are a mid-pack to end-of-the-pack type of car.
Or a.k.a. Memphis.
Right. Whatever. They race the regular season because they're trying to put their effort in to get to the playoffs. But then when you get to the playoffs, these drivers quit racing for the other half of the season because they're not in the playoffs. I want guys to understand something. Just because you're not in the playoffs, you still need to race. A lot of these guys didn't race for almost 4 months because, I'm not in the playoffs, what's the point of showing up?
Right.
Whether you're in the playoffs or not, you're still fighting those people out of the playoffs for a points position.
And you're still racing for a win. You're still racing for a win.
It sucks to run a championship race or, a Final Four race and
with
there's
fucking
like 7 or 8 guys show up. Yeah, that shit sucks. I agree with that 100%.
Go.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment there on Shackett's comment on the it's just a video game. Now, see from his side of he's saying about him not practicing, where people are getting pissed off. Like, I'm a competitive person, so I'd like to be able to come out here and race good, race clean, and be good at doing it. So I'm putting 4.5 hours in on Monday and getting on Tuesday an hour and a half before the race and putting time in. And then whenever Shackett knows that I'm not his biggest fan, and then whenever you have a guy that wrecks you 4 times out of the lead, you can see where somebody gets a little pissed off from somebody that doesn't practice.
You two need to stop touching each other in traffic.
Yeah.
Stop it now.
Yeah.
Because you're starting